Abby here, and welcome back to my channel for Tech Tuesday, or welcome if you're new. Now today, I'm going to be reviewing the Ultrahuman Ring Air. I'm going to be letting you guys know my honest experience with this fitness ring that I've been using for over 30 days. But before I get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, so you can stay tuned to all my new videos dropping weekly and so you can help the channel grow. So I have the Ultrahuman Ring Air here in the color Bionic Gold, and it did come out in some other colors as well, which you could see on screen. I have this in a size 8, and the current price as of recording is $349 American. Now to pick this up, you can order it directly from Ultrahuman. It does ship worldwide. And if you do want to pick this up, Ultrahuman has hooked me up with a coupon code for you guys so you can save 10% off the Ultrahuman Ring Air. Just use the link I have in the description below for you. And Ultrahuman did send this to me to review, to test out for you guys. All of the opinions are my own, my honest opinions, and they don't get to watch the video before I post it. So authentic content as always from me. The first thing you guys might be wondering is, what size do I get? Now, if you guys are probably wondering, like, what size do I get? Do I just get my ring size? You don't know. Well, I would definitely recommend that you get Ultrahuman's Air ring sizing kit. Now, you can get this for free directly from Ultrahuman, so you can find the perfect fit for you. Now, they do have a variety of sizes, starting at a size 5 going all the way to a 14. So this does fit, I think a huge amount of finger sizes. Now for me, I am wearing a size 8 right here, and it's really helpful to get this because you might not know what size you are. It's not necessarily the same ring size, like your ring finger size. For me, it was definitely a bit different. It was a bit bigger compared to my actual ring size. And there are no half sizes, so I would definitely recommend this so you can get the perfect fit for you. Now, Ultrahuman does recommend that you wear it on, your pointer finger or, one of these 3 fingers really. For me, I've been using, this finger, sometimes this one. I find those the most comfortable to wear. And all right, guys, now I'm gonna go into the major feature highlights about this ring so you can get an idea of what it can do. So the Ultrahuman Ring Air tracks your sleep, your steps, your heart rate, your calories burned. It has a battery life up to 6 days. It tracks your body temperature, your sun exposure, your activities such as spin classes, yoga, walking, and more. It's water resistant up to 100 meters. So you can confidently take this in the pool, in the shower, and you could even take it scuba diving. It also tracks your stress, your recovery after workouts. It has HRV status, VO2 max, food tracking, and more. And I just wanted to shout out that there are no subscription fees. There are like upsell apps that you can download if you want to get some extra information about things, but the core stuff there is free and included. Like if you want to look at your workout data, your sleep, calories burned, all of that stuff's included with no subscription needed. And if you guys are finding this video helpful so far, please go ahead and smash that like button for me. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, so this is what it looks like on me. So typically my ring size for this finger is a 7.5. The size 7 was too small for me. The size 8 did fit me a lot better, so that's the one I did end up getting. I typically will wear it on this finger or this finger. It kind of fits both. Being a ring, it's something that can't be resized. If you are wearing a smartwatch, you can go ahead and adjust the fit obviously up or down, but with the ring, the size you have here is what you're stuck with. I find because your fingers can change size throughout the day, even depending on the temperature. Right now being summer, when it's super hot outside, I don't really want to wear it on this finger because your fingers kind of swell and expand when it's hot. But when it's cooler, I could wear it on this finger as well. Now I have been wearing it primarily on this one. You guys can see there is a little bit of a tan line there. So when it comes to wearing the ring, I do find it comfortable to wear. It is very lightweight. If you're someone who maybe you're not used to wearing smartwatches or you don't want to wear something on your wrist, you might find this really nice to wear because you just have to put it on one finger, be more discreet than wearing a smartwatch. So I'm always impressed by fitness rings because they fit so much tech, so much data into this small package here. Now, one thing I do want to mention is this ring is pretty thick. I would have definitely preferred to have a thinner option. I do understand that, they have a lot of different technology in here, so they probably couldn't make it any thinner, but hopefully in the future, if they make a version 2, they could come out with like a thinner version. I think a lot of women would like that and kind of gravitate more towards something a bit thinner. All right, guys, so when it comes to activity tracking with this ring here, I think it does a really good job. If you're walking, running, doing HIIT, doing Pilates, something like that, where you're kind of constantly moving, it does a really good job at tracking those activities. When it comes to activities, they track things like your calories burned, your steps, your active minutes, your heart rate zones, and more. When I do stack this up to the smartwatch I was wearing at the time, it's very close, almost identical. So I think it does a really good job at tracking those type of activities. The only thing that I noticed is if you're doing activities where you really don't move your hands or your fingers at all, like if you were doing push-ups, for example, those are the things where I find are sometimes off. And also when it comes to the VO2 Max, I think that it does a really great job at that. I think it does a better job than some of my other smartwatches. I think it also tracks my heart rate accurately. For the activities, you do need to start it in the app. So I'm going to show you guys all of the activities that you can track currently. One thing I would like to see is this being in alphabetical order. I think it would make things easier to find. We do have a variety of activities you could track. And I find that it has some activities that are a bit more unique. Like I've never seen paintball on my smartwatches for tracking as an activity, and jujitsu. I haven't really seen that often, so I think that's pretty cool. So that is all the activities that you can track on here, guys. I also like that you can track your stress on here, and I like that you can get recovery information, heart rate data, VO2 max, and more. So it does give you a good amount of information in the app here, which I really like. This is something that's very easy to use. If you are getting it for someone who is completely new to kind of smart devices, tech, you could honestly just like set it up for them and then just get them to charge it on a weekly basis and they're good to go. You don't really have to micromanage. All right, guys, so the next thing I'm gonna talk about is sleep tracking. So the Ultrahuman Ring Air here does track your sleep. So to view the sleep data, you are going to need your phone and the Ultrahuman app open. You can see the total sleep duration, the time in bed, you know, your heart rate during those times. You could see the amount of restorative sleep. You could see 4 sleep stages, which is time awake, time in light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep. And you could see a little graph that corresponds to all of that as well. You can also see your heart rate data and your HRV status. Now when it comes to the sleep tracking here, I think it does a pretty good job. I do think that the time awake and the light sleep are not the most accurate. I think sometimes they kind of like go in one another. So I think the time awake is usually too short and it pushes some of that into light sleep. The heart rate drop, I think, is not the most accurate. I don't know if it's the way that my fingers are moving at night or something, but sometimes it's like, oh, your heart rate needs attention, but none of my smartwatches show that. So I think that's something that the Ring maybe has an issue with. Now when it comes to the battery life of this ring here, it has a coded battery life up to 6 days. Now with my usage doing things like walks, runs, HIIT activities, tracking my sleep, my heart rate, and more, I've gotten on average 5 days of battery life with this ring. Now for me, that's pretty good. I only have to charge it really once a week. Your phone will send you a notification if your ring battery is low, so you know when to charge it. And it charges in around 2 hours and 15 minutes to fully charge it. So it's not the fastest in the world, but it's not too bad. And all right, guys, now I'm going to talk about women's health. So for my males out there, anyone who doesn't want to see this, you can use my timestamps down below and jump to the next section. I'm going to be talking about durability. So with this ring, you can track your women's health data. Now you are going to need to do that in the app. It will tell you, different tips as well, like make sure that you're hydrating. But I have not been able to find a way to input my daily symptoms, how I'm feeling, input my flow intensity when I'm on my period, anything like that. You do get daily little prompts and suggestions, or nudges as they call them, but that's not enough for me. Like, I want to be able to track how I'm feeling in depth every day. So the women's health, disappointing to me compared to a lot of other ones on the market like Garmin or Fitbit, for example, which give you a wide variety of things that you can track. All right, guys, so when it comes to the durability of this ring, it has been doing a great job. So I've worn this for over 30 days. Now I've worn this basically 24/7. I've only really taken it off to charge it or occasionally when I'm like, lifting weights and stuff, but majority of the time it's on 24/7. It has been holding up nicely. I did get the gold color here, and It doesn't really have any noticeable scuffs on it, no dents. I will say that there are tiny scratches in some areas. Not the most noticeable because of, you know, the color and the finish here, but it does scratch pretty easily. I wouldn't say it scuffs easily, it doesn't dent easily, but you are gonna see some light scratches over time, or I definitely have. You have an ability to connect other apps. So you can track your food intake. You can do that directly in the Ultrahuman app, but you can also connect it to MyFitnessPal, you can connect it to Fat Secret. And for your activity and sleep tracking, you can also connect it to the Fitbit app, the Garmin app, Zwift, and much more. So you can get a lot of information out of your ring, and it can collaborate with other apps, which I think is great. Some cons I've noticed about this ring here is the Find My Ring. Now, I did misplace the ring around the house. I had taken it off because I was lifting some weights. I didn't want to damage it, and I forgot to put it back on right after, and it was very hard to find it. Now, using the Locate My Ring, it's kind of just like a hot and cold thing. Like, it would be like you're close, you're far away, but it doesn't really give you a pinpoint location. And I kid you guys not, I walked past the same spot 10 times where the ring was, and it didn't tell me, like, you know, super close. So that is something I would definitely like to see improved. I don't know if in the next model, if it's possible to maybe put some like lights in there, or to have maybe the sensors go off so we can see like that flashing to make it easier to find. Another con for me is the sun exposure. So there's a sun exposure app. When I do go outside with it, I don't really think it's the most accurate. I think it might maybe track the temperature difference that you're getting from the sun being directly on it. And I find that often it doesn't really track when I am outside, or it might just track a small portion of that. So I found myself having to just manually input the sun exposure data. But I did like that it does input, you know, your gender, your skin tone, how much exposure you want, stuff like that. So it's customizable, but it's not the most accurate metric in my opinion. Another con for me is that the wait times could be long. So with the Ultrahuman Ring here, when you order it, they're custom making one for you in your desired size and color. So you're not gonna get it the next day. You know, it could take some time for it to come to you. That's definitely, it could be a con for some people if you're impatient, like I'm a bit impatient. For me, I think it took about 3 weeks or so. In a sense, it's good because the quality control is good for the products. They're not just mass producing them and not checking them out. And the final con for me is that when I'm wearing this at night, sometimes I can see like the sensors lights really clearly, green light or the red light for wherever it's, you know, tracking. Now, it can be a little bit distracting when I'm just kind of looking over and my fingers glowing. A little bit weird. Not the biggest con in the world, but it's something that, you know, I don't really notice from a smartwatch. When I put it on my wrist, it doesn't really flash at me at night. I don't really notice it. It's kind of flush against my wrist and I don't see that, but it could be a little bit distracting when you are trying to sleep, seeing that light. And all right, guys, considering the price, the quality, the color, the functionality, the performance, the durability, and everything like that, I would go ahead and give it an 8.3 out of 10. I definitely do give it a thumbs up. So if you guys are looking to pick up the Ultrahuman Ring Air here, I've gone ahead and left a link down in the description for you to use. And if there's anything I missed today that you want to know, just go ahead and drop a comment below. I do read all the comments, so I'll definitely get back to you. And if you guys do want to help support the channel, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. That really does help the channel grow. And if you want to leave me a super thanks down here, that would be amazing. Everything will go towards creating new content for you. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.